morning. So today we are going to do some work for our bottom muscles and a little bit of a stretch for our back and hips. So we're going to start in side lying. You want about 4 inches of head cushion, so roll up a nice chunky towel, and we're going to come down with our head resting at the front edge of it. Stack your shoulders and your hips on top of each other. Bottom leg can just be comfortably bent, and reach the top leg out long, lengthening through the waist and creating this little mouse house underneath you there. Head and neck in line with the spine. And imagine you've got headlights on your hip bones and you want them to be angled forward and slightly down, keeping that tailbone underneath you. Hand can either rest in front or on your hip here. And then we're going to start with just some leg work, just lifting and lowering. And just glance down and you shouldn't be able to see anything more than your toes, otherwise the leg's too far forward. And we're not compressing at the waist, we're hinging at that hip joint into that socket. Got 4 to go here. Last 2. Last one, we're going to come up and hold, keep the length through your waist. And now I want you to imagine spiraling the leg down. So knee and toe are going to roll down, but you are corkscrewing that hip bone in its socket. So then we spiral the knee and toe up to the ceiling. And don't let the whole leg drop. Imagine that's resting on a shelf, just at hip height, and you're spiraling that bone in its socket like a corkscrew. So you're controlling the pelvis and the upper body. The whole body should be nice and still. That's what you're controlling as you corkscrew into the hip. Last 2, last 1, and then hold, keeping the length through your waist. You're going to bring the foot forward now so you can see the foot, and we're going to pulse here for 8, 7, 6, 5, double time, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then from here, nice and slow, start to take the leg out behind you. As you do it, don't pop through the ribs, keep the tailbone underneath you, and you should feel these back bottom muscles working for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to the midline, so you should only be able to see the toes. The front and the back of the hip here are working evenly for 6 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Keep holding. And then you're going to bend this knee out in front of you, like you're bringing the thigh up towards your chest. What tends to happen is the heel comes to your sit bone. Your job is to keep the foot hidden behind the knee at a nice 90-90. Then the tendency is for the knee to drop below the hip. Imagine you're resting on a coffee table out in front of you. Keep holding it there, keeping the length through your waist. Keep holding. Then for 4 here, we're going to lower the whole foreleg towards the floor and lift, lower and lift, lower and lift. Last time, hold. Now then you're going to flex the foot and point, flex and point. Last one, flex and point. Finish with a flex of the foot and drive the heel out on the midline. Hold the leg here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Point the foot, lower the toe. Then last 8 here, we lift and lower, lift and lower. Keep the length through the waist. Last 4. Feeling the burn. 2. And last 1, well done. Lower the leg, tap out through your bottom. Bring your knees out in front of you and make sure that the top knee is stacked over the bottom knee. Head at the front edge of your cushions, just slide the bottom shoulder through slightly, and then hands like crocodile arms out in front of you here. Nice long neck, shoulders away from your ears, and then we're going to just open up to the ceiling. Hold here, and I want you to look at those fingertips in front of you. Let the shoulders just melt. Now glue the knees and hips to face forward. And imagine a torch on your breastbone shining up to the ceiling as we just allow the arm to come back. And you're not swinging the arm back, it's a rotation through the upper back. Inhale and hold, get that mobilization through the spine. And then exhale to close. And again here, inhale at the top here. And then exhale to close. Last one, breathing out to come up. Take a nice deep breath in at the top. And then exhale to close. Nice, from here we're gonna push up. And the leg that's just been working, keep that bent and reach the other leg out long. Then cross the leg over the knee. And then with the leg that's long, that same arm hugs that knee in towards the body. Even weight through your sit bones and grow tall through the crown of your head. Then reach the other arm out in front of you. And now as you hug that knee in towards you, start to open up through the breastbone and rotate, growing tall through the spine, anchoring those sit bones. Breathe here into that stretch. Taller. And then release. Bring the arm back to center and let that leg slide out. We're going to bring those head cushions across to the other side and we're going to come down into our side series the other way. So bottom knee is bent, reach the other arm out in front of you, head at the front edge of your head cushions. Lengthen the top leg out long and just funnel the breastbone and drop the tailbone underneath you. Hand either on your hip or in front of you. Lift and lower. Glance down, you should only be able to see the tips of your toes to keep that leg on the midline. Last two. Last one, hold. Then from here we turn the knee and the foot down and up. Spiral down, spiral the leg up, feeling that you're corkscrewing into that hip socket, feeling the end ranges of the rotation in that hip joint, keeping the length through your waist, controlling the pelvis nice and still. Last two, last one. Hold that there, then bring the foot forward and we pulse for 8, 7, double time, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then here, super slow, keep the length through your waist, keep reaching the leg long, bring the leg out behind you, keeping the ribs funneled down, tailbone underneath you. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to the midline and pulse for here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Flex the foot and point, flex and point, flex and point. Relax, bring the knee in line with your hip. Check the heel hasn't come to your sit bone but is hidden behind the knee at a nice 90. Don't let the foot drop, hold here. Keep the length through your waist. Point and flex through the foot. And hold. Then lower the foreleg and the knee together and back up. Lower, back up. Lower, back up. Last one, back up. Flex at the foot and press the heel away. And hold for 5. Tailbone underneath you, ribs soft. 3, 2, 1. Point the foot, lower the toe. Last 8 here, we lift and lower, lift and lower. Really feeling that engagement at the front and the back of the hip. Really making sure we're using those bottom muscles. 3 more, 2, 1, and low. Well done. Tap out through your bottom. Bring your knees forward, out in front of you, and stack that top knee on the bottom knee. Slide the shoulder slightly through if you need to, and head at the front edge of your head cushions. Soft shoulders, and we roll. Just hold at the ceiling, and then imagine it's your torch on your breastbone shining up to the ceiling that brings your arm back rather than you swinging the arm back. Keep the knees and hips stacked forward. Inhale and hold. And then exhale to close. Open up, breath in. Let the back of the skull sink into the cushion and back to center. Last one. Sink the back of the skull. Breath in. And then exhale, back to center. Then from here we push up. So the leg you've just been working, keep bent. The leg goes out straight and anchor those sit bones. Bring the foot across the body, and then the leg that's long, you hug that same arm around the knee, bringing the knee into your body. Other arm comes out in front of you. Anchor the sit bones, grow tall, and now rotate that arm, turning your torch on your breastbone to the side of the room, growing taller, anchoring the sit bones. Breathe. And then release and come back to center. Reach both legs out long, reach up. Back as straight as you can, bow forward, sending your tailbone out behind you. Flex and point. Flex and point and hold. Reach those arms forward, back up to center. Bring those arms down, and then from here, we're gonna come onto our knees. Place a cushion or a towel under those knees if you need, and then bringing one foot into your staggered kneeling. Heel stacks under the knee, and you tuck your tailbone under. Reach the arm up to the ceiling of the leg that's long, and side bend over. Back to center. Walk the foot forward so you can see your forefoot and your toes, and then lunge forward here, keeping your tailbone underneath you. And that might be enough for some of you, and you can just hold that there. Otherwise, you're going to bring the foot up and reach for the inside of your ankle. Keep your tailbone under, and then rotate those shoulders to face forward. If you feel able, you can reach that arm out. Stay in that nice lunge, sink into it. And then release the foot down, press back, bunny hop back, and lower the leg. Finishing with the other side, so heel stacks under the knee, tuck your tailbone under, reach up. Side bend across the midline, deepening the stretch through the front of the thigh. Back to center. Walk the foot forward so you can see the forefoot and your toes, and lunge forward, tailbone underneath you. Either stay at that level, or you can start to bring this foot up, reaching for the inside of the ankle, and turn your shoulders to face away from me. Reach the arm out and lengthen through the fingertips as you rotate deeper towards your heel. Then release the foot, sink back, bunny hop back, bring the leg down, reach up, breath in, exhale, nosedive, curl down, sit back on your heels, soft elbows, head heavy. Breathe into the back of the rib cage to finish.